In this world, weakness is a crime and dependence is a death sentence. Every day, powerful forces, people, systems, rivals, are working to bend you, use you, or destroy you. And if you do not master yourself, they will succeed. Today, you will learn how to become the weapon, a force no enemy dares to touch. This is the Machiavellian art of ruthless self-mastery. There is a lie men tell themselves, that strength comes from the sword you hold or the armor you wear. They believe power is something you acquire from the outside. But they are wrong. The sword rusts, the armor dents, the army betrays. The only true weapon a man can rely on is himself. Until you forge your mind and will into steel, you are merely a child in a man's body, vulnerable to every strike. You have been taught to obey since the day you could walk. Your parents told you to be polite. Your teachers told you to raise your hand and wait your turn. Society told you to be a good man. And you listened. You learned to smile when you wanted to frown, to say yes when you wanted to say no, and to bow when you should have stood tall. They told you this was maturity, wisdom, civilization. But what they really taught you was compliance. Look closely at the men around you, the ones who live by these rules. They wait for permission to act. They tolerate disrespect to avoid conflict. They hide their true thoughts because they are afraid to offend. These are not men. These are domesticated creatures, dressed in fine clothes, pretending they are free. They are trained to fetch, to sit, to beg. They exist to make life easier for those who have the courage to command them. If you want to become the weapon, you must destroy this version of yourself. You must kill the civilized man within, not the man who understands manners or strategy. That is useful, but the man who is afraid to disturb the peace, even when that peace is killing him. The civilized man fears rejection. The weapon fears nothing but becoming dull. The civilized man seeks approval. The weapon seeks result. The civilized man hesitates, thinking of how his actions might be judged. The weapon strikes, knowing that hesitation is a slow death. Ask yourself, who benefits from your obedience? Who gains when you suppress your instincts? The answer will never be you. Your restraint, your silence, your reluctance. They feed the ambitions of others while leaving you empty. This is why the first step toward ruthless self-mastery is rebellion against your own conditioning. The transformation begins when you stop living for their praise. Stop fearing their disapproval. Stop letting their comfort dictate your choices. This is not a call for blind rage or recklessness. That is weakness of another kind. This is a call for calculated defiance. You must develop the ability to say, "No, I will not bend," even when bending would be easier. You must learn to endure the discomfort of being misunderstood, disliked, even hated, because your path is not for the approval of the masses. It is for the building of your own dominion. Men who cling to their civilized masks believe they are protecting themselves from danger. In truth, they are only making themselves more vulnerable. A predator knows when his prey will not fight back. He senses submission and it emboldens him. But when a man refuses to kneel, when he meets aggression with a cold, unwavering stare, the predator reconsiders. Civilization has made most men prey without claws. Your task is to grow them back. There will be resistance, not just from others, but from within. The civilized man inside you will whisper, "This is not who you are. You're being too harsh. You're going too far." He will remind you of every lesson drilled into you since childhood, trying to pull you back into the cage. That voice must be silenced. It is the voice of weakness wearing the mask of virtue. A weapon is not forged in comfort. It is forged in fire, hammered without mercy, shaped for a singular purpose. If you want to be respected, feared, and impossible to control, you must accept that you are not here to please them. You are here to make yourself untouchable, and the man who clings to his good boy nature will always be owned by someone who does not. The mind is the forge, and every man is born with one. but most men let it grow cold. They shelter it from the flames, afraid of the heat, afraid of the blows from the hammer. They protect themselves from discomfort, and in doing so, they protect themselves from transformation. Steel is not born hard, it is made hard. And you, as you are now, are not yet the weapon. You have been told that emotions make you human, that sensitivity makes you noble. And it is true that emotions can guide a man. But when emotions rule him, they chain him. Rage makes him reckless. Fear makes him hesitate. Desire makes him blind. The mind that has not been hardened is a mind that can be manipulated. People will use your temper against you, baiting you into mistakes. They will play on your fears to make you retreat. They will whisper to your desires, so you willingly walk into their traps. A man who has hardened his mind cannot be baited, cannot be rattled, cannot be pulled into battles that do not serve his purpose. He moves only when the move is to his advantage, and when he strikes, it is final. This is the discipline of the weapon, to be in control not only of your actions, but of your very thoughts. Every insult you endure, every betrayal you suffer, every failure you face, these are the flames that can either burn you to ash or strengthen you into unbreakable iron. Weak men cry over the heat and run from the fire. Strong men stay in it, letting it burn away every trace of softness. The man you are now has limits. The weapon you must become has none. When your mind is hardened, flattery will not seduce you. You will not believe the honeyed words of those who seek to disarm you. And when they attempt to humiliate you, your spirit will not waver. You will not need to lash out, because their opinion will hold no power over you. This is the freedom only the hardened mind can give, the freedom from being ruled by anyone else's perception. It is not enough to train the body. The body will fail you in time. The mind, if forged properly, does not fail. You must treat every day as the blacksmith treats his work, a constant cycle of heating, striking, cooling, and repeating. This means seeking out challenges that test you, enduring discomfort without complaint, and confronting fears until they no longer have teeth. You cannot avoid the trials, you must invite them. A man who avoids the heat will never hold the edge. You must also learn patience, for steel is not hardened in a single blow. 100 strikes shape it, 1,000 strikes perfect it. The impatient man acts too soon, revealing his intentions and giving his enemies time to prepare. The hardened mind waits. It studies. It observes in silence while others show their hand. And when it is time, it acts without hesitation or mercy. This is why most men will never become weapons, because this process requires the destruction of their illusions. They want comfort more than control. They want approval more than power. And so they remain soft, ready to bend to the will of anyone stronger. But the man who has forged his mind can stand in the center of chaos without fear, without doubt, and without the need for reassurance. He is beyond manipulation, beyond intimidation, beyond the reach of. Violence is not always a clenched fist or a drawn blade. It is the application of force in any form, physical, mental, political, psychological. Most men use it like children use a stick wildly, without aim, hoping to scare away what threatens them. They exhaust themselves with pointless swings, revealing their intentions to everyone who watches. The true weapon is different. The true weapon does not move unless the movement will end the conflict. To master the art of controlled violence is to understand timing, precision, and restraint. A sharp edge that strikes constantly soon dulls. A blade that rests in its sheath keeps its edge until the exact moment it is needed. This is how you must live, not wasting your energy on petty disputes, not lashing out at every insult, not answering every challenge that calls your name. The man who fights every battle will eventually lose the war. Your enemies want you to be predictable. They want you to respond in anger when they provoke you. They want you to show your strength too soon, so they can measure it, study it, and find ways to counter it. They want you to overreach, to make a move you cannot take back. This is why you must cultivate stillness, even when your blood burns for action. To the outside world, this stillness will look like weakness. Let them believe it. The greatest trap you can set is allowing your enemy to think you are harmless. But when the moment comes, and it will come, you must strike without hesitation, without warning, without giving them a breath to recover. Your action must be decisive, calculated to remove the threat entirely. Controlled violence is not about sending a message. It is about ending the problem. Sometimes the problem is a rival in your court, sometimes a weakness in your own discipline, sometimes a public attack on your name. Whatever form it takes, the solution is the same: a single, clean, irreversible blow. Control also means knowing when not to strike. A man who cannot resist the urge to destroy is not a master of violence. He is a slave to it. His enemies can predict him, provoke him, and lead him wherever they wish. The weapon must be feared not because it kills without cause, but because it kills with purpose. Every strike should be remembered. Every strike should shape the perception of those who witness it. You want people to know that if you act, it will be because you have decided the matter is over, not because you lost control. This applies beyond the battlefield. Words can be weapons sharper than steel. A whisper in the right ear, a truth revealed at the right time, a single sentence spoken in a crowded room. These can cut deeper than any sword. Controlled violence means mastering the delivery of these blows, never wasting them on small matters, always saving them for when they will have the greatest impact. A king who punishes every offense becomes predictable and hated. A king who ignores small offenses but crushes betrayal with overwhelming force becomes untouchable. People will test your boundaries. They will probe for weakness. Some will mistake your silence for inability. Let them. When you do act, make sure the cost to them is so great that others will think twice before following their example. This is the essence of controlled violence, the perfect balance between patience and ferocity. You are neither a coward who hides from the fight nor a fool who jumps into every one. You are the storm that does not rage without reason, but when it comes, it leaves nothing standing in its path. You strike not to express emotion, not to win applause, but to remove obstacles. And when the weapon decides it is time to move, nothing can stop it, and nothing will save those who stand in its way. Because the moment the blade, men build walls of stone and call themselves safe. They gather wealth, surround themselves with allies, wear fine clothes, and believe these things will protect them from ruin. But walls can be breached, gold can be stolen, allies can betray. The fortress that endures is not built of brick or guarded by soldiers. It is built inside you. It is your will, your discipline, your self-reliance. Everything else is vulnerable. If you are dependent on the world to keep you strong, then you are not strong at all. The man who needs constant praise will crumble when he is criticized. The man who depends on his wealth for confidence will be broken when it is lost. The man who stands tall only when surrounded by loyal friends will fall when they are gone. A true weapon cannot be disarmed by removing what surrounds him, because his power comes from within. Building a fortress in your soul begins with removing your reliance on external support. You must be able to stand in an empty room with no one to reassure you, with nothing in your hands, and still feel unshaken. This is not arrogance. This is stability. It means your strength is not for rent, not for sale, and not dependent on the approval of others. Most men live exposed. They open themselves to every influence, letting strangers dictate how they feel, how they think, how they act. They hear one insult and their pride shatters. They face one setback and their spirit collapses. A fortress in your soul means nothing from the outside can decide what you are inside. It means insults do not move you, praise does not intoxicate you, and loss does not break you. This fortress is built brick by brick through discipline. Discipline to control your impulses. Discipline to rise when it would be easier to lie down. Discipline to hold your tongue when speaking would give away your position. Every choice you make is either reinforcing your walls or leaving cracks in them. The man who indulges every temptation, who speaks without thinking, who reacts without strategy, is tearing down his own defenses. When the world sees you as self-contained, unshakable, it changes how they approach you. Weak men are tested often because their enemies sense they will fail under pressure. Strong men are tested less because their enemies know the cost of failure will be theirs. Your fortress must project the truth that you cannot be starved, cannot be bribed, cannot be worn down by time. But this is not only about repelling attacks, it is about controlling your own mind. Inside your fortress, there must be order. Chaos in your thoughts will eventually crack your walls. That is why you must govern yourself as a ruler governs a city with clear laws, swift consequences for disobedience, and no tolerance for rebellion. Your emotions must obey you. Your fears must obey you. Your desires must obey you. If they do not, then your enemies will command them for you. Do not mistake isolation for strength. A fortress in your soul does not mean you avoid people entirely. It means you engage with them from a position of power, never dependence. You can give trust, but you do not need it. You can accept gifts, but you do not require them. You can walk beside allies, but you can walk alone just as easily. In war, the strongest fortress is not the one with the highest walls, but the one with a garrison that never surrenders. In life, that garrison is your mind, your discipline, your refusal to kneel to any master but your own purpose. Once this fortress is built, you will move through the world differently. Threats will no longer shake you. Temptations will no longer lure you. You will know that no matter what is taken from you, the weapon remains, because the weapon lives inside the walls you have built, and the only way to reach it is to destroy you entirely. A task most will never dare to attempt, because the moment they approach those walls, they will see that behind them stands not just a man, but something far more dangerous. A weapon without a reputation is just metal. But a weapon with a reputation is power before it is ever drawn. This is the state you must reach, where your presence itself shapes the actions of others, where your name is spoken carefully, where people weigh every word they say to you because they understand the cost of disrespect. This is not about arrogance. It is about power sustained by the perfect balance of fear and respect. Fear without respect makes you a tyrant. People will obey you while you are strong, but the moment you weaken, they will rise against you. Respect without fear makes you easy to betray, because while they admire you, they do not fear the consequences of crossing you. The man who becomes the weapon understands that he must carry both in equal measure. Fear is not built through empty threats or wild displays of aggression. That is the work of the insecure. True fear is built through decisive, remembered action. When someone crosses you, your response must be so calculated, so final, that no one who witnesses it will dare repeat the mistake. The key is not to lash out at every slight that makes you look petty and unstable. The key is to act rarely, but when you do, to ensure it is unforgettable. Respect, on the other hand, is earned not through weakness, but through your conduct toward those who remain loyal. When you protect those who serve you well, when you reward loyalty with opportunity, when you show fairness to the worthy, you create a bond that no bribe can break. Your allies must know that you are dangerous to your enemies, but a fortress to your friends. This is how respect takes root alongside fear, creating loyalty not from chains, but from choice. You must also understand the art of silence in building this dual shadow. The less people know about your full capacity, the more they will imagine it. A vague reputation can be more terrifying than an obvious one. If they have seen you act once and it was devastating, they will live with the thought that you could act again at any time in ways they cannot predict. Let their imagination do the work of fear for you. When fear and respect move with you like shadows, you will notice how the world adjusts. People will lower their voices when you enter the room. Rivals will measure their words. Even your allies will think carefully before testing your patience. Opportunities will come to you without you having to chase them, because people would rather work with you than risk opposing you. This is not luck. This is the natural effect of controlling how you are perceived. To maintain this, you must be consistent. One display of strength followed by weakness will shatter the image you have built. You cannot allow yourself to become predictable or sentimental in ways that make you easy to exploit. A single exception, granted for the wrong reason, can lead others to believe your discipline is negotiable. And once they believe that, they will test it. There will always be those who think they can outwit you, those who mistake your patience for softness. These people must be taught the truth swiftly and without hesitation. And when you teach it, you do so in a way that becomes a story. Stories spread faster than commands. One act of ruthless decisiveness can echo longer than 100 acts of warning. You are not aiming to be loved. You are aiming to be necessary, to be respected, to be feared. Love fades. Respect deepens. Fear preserves. Together, they create an atmosphere where betrayal is rare and opposition is calculated rather than impulsive. In this atmosphere, you can move with confidence, because every man you meet is already calculating the cost of standing against you, and most will decide that cost is too high. Because the shadow you carry is not just fear, not just respect. It is the unshakable knowledge that to cross you is to place one's hand upon the edge of a blade. And that blade is always sharp, always waiting, always poised, because you are not merely holding the weapon. You remember this. A man is not born the weapon. He is born raw, soft, unshaped, and the world will try to keep him that way, because a man who is not the weapon is easy to use, easy to control, easy to destroy. You have seen what must be done. Kill the civilized man within, the obedient servant they have trained you to be. Harden your mind until no fear, no insult, no temptation can pierce it. Learn the art of controlled violence, the discipline to remain still until the moment you must strike, and then strike so decisively the problem never returns. Build your fortress within, so no betrayal, no loss, no storm can reach the core of who you are. And finally, walk with fear and respect as your constant shadows, so that every step you take shapes the ground before you. This path is not gentle. It will strip you of illusions. It will demand more than comfort, more than safety, more than the approval of others. But when you walk it to the end, you will no longer ask for protection, for validation, or for power. You will be all three. You will not merely survive the games of power. You will command them. You will not simply hold the weapon. You will be the weapon. And in a world that feeds on the weak, there is no greater freedom than that.